Today I fucked up when my wife found my Crayolas. This fuck up didn't happen today, but I'm paying for it right now. My wife, or maybe ex-wife, usually works during the day while I work nights and weekends, so we don't really meet in terms of having time for the hanky-pankies. She runs a daycare, this is important, and we have a ton of brand new toys stored in our basement for the business. Well, me being me and bored, I came across hundreds of boxes of crayons. In my never-ending boredom after coloring stuff, I was thinking, what if I melt this into shapes? I'm not gonna explain how exactly I made these molds in my workshop because that's more of a DIY tutorial. Anyways, after about 15 attempts of melting and molding, I finally make the perfect Crayola dick. Then I started mixing colors, etc. Eventually I had made about 50 of these, all different colors and sizes. So we have this dog named Bonkers, and he's a curious son of a dog. He roams free around the house and must have snuck in and grabbed one behind my back. Now you know how I said we work different shifts. Well, wife home from work and I'm on my weekend shift still, Friday to Sunday, and my wife starts blowing up my phone. I guess Bonkers had dropped it in the toilet and wife found it thinking I was using it. Now I'm being accused of cheating on her with the crayons. She wouldn't answer my calls, so I text her that I made these in the garage. It doesn't go over so well when she finds 50 melted crayons for Lizzie's, in which I used the daycare's crayons to make them. I'm heading home soon and I haven't talked to wife since she found them. Update, obviously didn't happen today. I'll start by answering some questions first. This isn't a throwaway account, it was my lurker account. I made it to call somebody out on a post, see my first account post, and I just kinda never logged out. Wife owns the building, it is not a home daycare. This isn't the first time I've done something stupid with the daycare toys out of pure boredom. Last time I used a needle and some wire to make a necklace out of doll heads. Wife was not amused. I invested about 6 hours of my free time on this crayon melting project. It took about 40-ish crayons to fill the biggest mold I produced. So the update. Wife wouldn't speak to me when I got home. She had taken all of my creations and destroyed them, leaving the pieces in a plastic storage bin. It was the first thing I saw when I walked into the living room. Now it's morning and she wants us to do marriage counseling and thinks I should see a therapist as well. I'm a master electrician and I guess wife just doesn't understand my messed up humor sometimes. I never thought I'd get so many responses and upvotes on my original post. I'm not sure why it got deleted, but I didn't delete it. Too long, didn't read. Molded penises out of crayons. I found them. Got home, found bin of destroyed crayon penises. Slept on couch with Bonkers. Wife wants to do marriage counseling and me to see a therapist. I'm with you for part of this, like giggly and making a Crayola dick. Then you made 49 more. This, I mean, even 1 or 2 extra I could understand, but fuck dude, you're like 16 deviations from the mean when you make 50. Edit, my first gold. Thank you, kind stranger. And thanks to Op for making an exorbitant amount of Crayola dicks. Can we get some Crayola dick pics on the update? I wanna see your shaftmanship. If I wasn't a broke ass, I'd gild this. Edit, obligatory thank you, kind internet stranger, for my first Reddit gold. I have a home daycare and my husband works nights. I'd better start searching for the inevitable Crayola dick. A wax dick is not cheating. Some of y'all's wives need to calm the fuck down. Seriously, between this guy and the guy whose wife threw his fleshlight at the neighbor's house, I'm beginning to wonder if I need to have a conversation with this girl I started seeing just to make sure she's not going to find me sticking wax sticks into a fleshlight and freak out. I don't have the link. I hide posts after I view them and I can't seem to get it back. Basically, a guy's wife found his fleshlight left out when she came back from work, freaked out, went out to the yard and threw it really far. The next day his neighbor brought it back after his dog found it because it hit his house. Today I fucked up by having ADHD while having sex. Unlike other today I fucked ups, this indeed happened today. Just a few minutes ago, actually. And yes, this is a throwaway for reasons. It's Sunday afternoon, and it's a pretty lazy day here at my house. The husband indicates that he's in the mood for bedroom activities, and while I didn't particularly feel the need for carnal relations, I thought, what the hey, there's nothing better to do. So I put the 2 kiddos, 10 and 12-year girls, on the Netflix, Shira, because fuck yeah, girl power, and we proceeded to the bedroom activity portion of this FU. Well, this is the portion of my story where I realize that my FU may have actually been last night. Cause last night is when I forgot to take my meds. It happens more often than it should, really. I'm a teacher, and it's summertime, and so forgetting to take my meds happens more often when I'm not on a regular schedule, and yes, I have a reminder in my phone, but sometimes I'm playing games and I turn off the alarm, thinking that I'll remember when I'm done with this level, but I never do. So anywhat, the husband starts his dirty finger dance on the honeypot, and I'm trying to get into it, but my mind is bouncing around like a cirqued soily trapeze dancer. Should my new Pathfinder be a human or half-elf? What about Trump and his assholiness? I wonder how many pics we took in Bryce Canyon this week. We should really finish our moving plans soon. You know, the stupid stuff your mind isn't supposed to think about while your clit is being jed. After a couple of minutes, I finally just tell the hubs that he might as well just jump right on in and do what needs doing, because he might as well finish his deed since mine won't get done right now. So he obliges, but then starts taking his sweet time. I try to find a way to tell him, in not so many words, to just wham bam, thank you mom and call it good, but the first words that come to mind pop out. Bop it. I instantly start giggling, then follow up with twist it. Flick it. At first, the hubs tries to power through, but my giggles turned into hysterical laughing. I'm talking the kind where you're holding your stomach, sounding like a flock of Canadian goose migrating south for the winter. Needless to say, his ability to bop it deflates, and he's now in the shower, I'm assuming finishing the job himself with fewer distractions. I went and took my med, and hopefully I have better focus ability to make it up to him later. TL doctor, forgot my meds, failed to focus on sexy times, and now I'll never be able to play bop it with a straight face again in my life. I once had someone pause mid-thrust, look me in the eyes and ask, "But what's the time though?" So that was a mood killer. What ADHD meds do you take at night? All the ones I've ever been on are stimulants and have to be taken first thing in the morning. I'm looking for a non-stimulant alternative. I guess op is on Strattera. Potentially Wellbutrin/bupropion, which isn't technically for ADHD. Well, if you are ever in multiplayer mode, you can always instruct him to pass it. Cirqued Soily, the vegan circus. Even I still don't know if I should make my Pathfinder a human or an elf. So, are we talking about a Nissan? Today I fucked up by using a bidet. Obligatory did not happen today, but last week. So because of the toilet paper crisis, plus how often Reddit has been talking about it like a gift from God, I have decided to buy a bidet on Amazon. Putting it together wasn't hard. I struggled to remove the toilet seat at first, but everything went without a hitch. Afterward I did what most engineers normally do with their creations, testing it out. TBH, while I have already seen many comments saying that bidet cleans well, I was not prepared to the level of thorough cleaning it offered me. The feeling of fresh water shooting directly onto my anus and along the crack was incredible. It was cool, it was gentle, and it took care of all nooks and crannies with only so much as a wiggle of the thumb. I feel like that British king who had a servant that would wipe his butt for him, except mine costs $35, cleans using fresh water, and doesn't judge my quarantine diet. When all was done, my butt felt fresh, pampered and smelled good. A few minutes later, something strange happened. My anus felt itchy. I figured it was probably because I oversprayed at first, no problem toe. But it persisted. A mild itch soon gradually progressed into an intense burning itchy feeling. It felt like if I were to use a very cheap very bad eyeliner, except I don't put my eyeliners on my ass crack. Did I said that by the time the itch was killing me, I was in a grocery store? Because by the time the itch was killing me, I was in a grocery store. As if my Asian ass of a mug did not already guarantee me a safe and secure social distancing. The fact that I was visibly scratching my ass helped out a ton too. Normally I am a pretty polite and mannered person, but at that point any amount of flying fuck I could give her ceased to exist. I was willing to be publicly sodomized by a priest if that could exorcise this demonic itch from my colon. As soon as I got home, first thing I did was jumping into the shower and contemplating my entire life up to that point. Also, how the fuck could my bidet have done that? Cheap plastic? Someone putting allergens into the water line? Nanobots in the water system waiting for a chance to attack us humans? Anyhow, it did not hit me till I opened the lid to check. The water was blue. A month prior I put one of those blue Clorox pellets into my toilet tank to clean it. I'd kiff most bidets out there. I like the one I bought, but it siphons water from toilet tank instead of from the water line. It was so goddamn fucking obvious, but somehow it did not cross my mind when I was installing the bidet. And somehow it did not cross my mind when my bum came out smelling oddly good with a hint of lavender and abrasive cleaning chemical. I have sprayed my ass crack with Clorox. TLDR, the last sentence before this line. Edit, as u/Steelsack has pointed out, I may have been wrong on where my water was coming from. I don't know if I should feel better or worse that the source of my pain is not from my tank, but I'm trying the bidet again later today. Wish me luck. Edit 2, did not try. Chickened out. Thank you so much for your advices. Some said it might be splashback. Some believed that I should have used TP once I'm done as opposed to just wiggle my bum. Some others said that Clorox pellets can eat away toilet tank components, which is another good reason to just chuck mine out of the window. All advices are good and worth considering for a successful bidet experience. Some people have concerned that my post is bidet fear-mongering. I have to clarify that I grew up on the other side of the world with a handheld bidet, so I understand and fully appreciate the power of clean fresh water. I do not mean to scare anyone off from using bidets, and I'm sorry if my sole anecdotal experience can affect your life choice. I still maintain that my new bidet is the best thing that has happened in my life since my childhood bidet and my adulthood, so get a bidet, it's worth it. My bidet is getting old and senile. It started just randomly extending the spray tube and activating it sometimes too. It's like Russian roulette. When all was done, my butt smelled good. Thoughtful face, how do they know? Was my thought too long? Do not put Clorox cleaning products in the tank, they will destroy the internals and dry out all the rubber pieces. I like the story, but that's not how a bidet works. There is no pressure in a toilet tank, so no way for the bidet to pull water pressure from the tank. Some do indeed connect to the line that connects to the tank, but the pressure fills the tank at the top, so even if you shut your water off at the source, there isn't any chance for it to siphon tank water back into the line and onto your delicate bits. I'm only correcting this because I don't want people to think this is an issue they have to worry about. To bidet, they are awesome. When I tested mine after install, standing alongside, it shot water across the bathroom and hosed down the mirror. Thanks for my first gold. I've never installed a bidet before, but wouldn't you tap into the supply line for the tank to supply it with water? Any other source seems extremely unsanitary, and I'm not sure how it would pressurize it enough to unlodge last night's Taco Bell from an arsehole unless they have some kind of massive pump built into them. Yup. I just installed mine this weekend and the water line for the bidet is teed off the toilet supply into the tank. Something about his story is fishy.